Hello, everybody. We are going to talk about a very important life-threatening drug interaction that occurs between phosphodiesterase inhibitors and nitrates. So we'll talk about this drug interaction in detail. So we'll see how dangerous is it. If you give phosphodiesterase inhibitors to somebody who is on nitrates, it can result in very dangerous, life-threatening hypotension. That hypotension can result in strokes because of the diminished cerebral blood flow, and also ischemic heart disease like myocardial infarction because of the diminished coronary blood flow, and also there can be failure of the important vital organs such as kidney, acute renal failure because of decreased blood flow to those vital organs. And also patient is also at risk of developing continued erection, so-called priapism, right? So these manifestations can be life-threatening to the patient. So we'll talk about what happened under normal circumstances. Under normal circumstances, there is nitric oxide production in our body. The major site of nitric oxide production is the vascular endothelium. Vascular endothelium has the enzyme nitric oxide synthase. It converts arginine in the vascular endothelium to nitric oxide. This nitric oxide produced in the vascular endothelium will diffuse to the muscle layer, vascular smooth muscle cells. Right? What does nitrogen oxide do? It activates guanylate cyclase enzyme that converts guanosine triphosphate to cyclic GMP. So there is increased production of cyclic GMP. Cyclic GMP causes smooth muscle relaxation via the protein kinase G pathway. So increased cyclic GMP produces smooth muscle relaxation, smooth muscle relaxations of the blood vessels. So that results in vasodilatation. This is a very important mechanism to maintain the normal blood pressure because it causes vascular relaxation that keeps our blood pressure within normal range. Then we'll talk about how nitrates work, right? So nitrates, so there are several nitric oxide producing drugs. For example, organic nitrates, they release nitric oxide inside the body. So common alkaline nitrates are the glyceryl trinitrate, that is also known as nitroglycerin. Then also isosorbide mononitrate, isosorbide dinitrate, right? Those are the nitric oxide producing drugs. In addition, there is a sodium nitroprusside that releases nitric oxide that is used in severe hypertension, right? And also sometimes we use nitric oxide as an anesthetic agent, nitric oxide inhalation, right? So whatever the route is, these nitric oxide, when there is nitric oxide, right, released from these medications will activate the guanylate cyclase enzyme, producing more cyclic GMP from GTP. So that results in vascular relaxation, right? That is why we use these nitrates like glyceryl trinitrate, isosorbide mononitrate, isosorbide dinitrate to cause vasodilatation, right? What happens when you get these nitrates, right? When you take these nitrates, they cause vasodilatation, but mainly the venodilatation. The veins are more dilated than arteries. So their major function is venodilatation. Because of the venodilatation, there is stagnation of blood within the veins. So there is decreased venous return. Decreased venous return means decreased preload. Decreased preload means decreased workload for the heart, right? Then also they also cause some kind of arteriolar dilatation, especially arterioles, right? So that dilatation also will decrease afterload, right? So there is larger decrease in preload and somewhat decrease in afterload. So when that occurs, there is decreased workload for the myocardium. That is decreased oxygen demand for the myocardium. That is important during the disease myocardium, such as in ischemic heart disease. That's why we use these medications in ischemic heart disease, right? Similarly, nitric oxide, the same thing, right? They are venodilator that decrease the blood pressure, decrease venous return, decrease cardiac output, low blood pressure, right? So that is how nitrates work, right? By producing more cyclic GMP, causing vascular relaxation. Then what are phosphodiesterases? Phosphodiesterases are enzymes that predominantly deactivates cyclic nucleotides such as cyclic adenosine monophosphate, CMP, cyclic guanosine monophosphate, CGMP. They deactivate them to non-cyclic forms. So when we talk about the phosphodiesterases, there are 12 classes of phosphodiesterases. Phosphodiesterase 1 to phosphodiesterase 12, right? Some phosphodiesterases will break down only cyclic KMP. Some phosphodiesterases will break down only cyclic GMP. There are some phosphodiesterases that break down both cyclic KMP and cyclic GMP, right? But here the important is for our drug interaction, phosphodiesterase 5. Phosphodiesterase 5 is specific for cyclic GMP. It is specific for cyclic GMP. So phosphodiesterase 5 is abundantly present in the erectile tissues of the penis, such as corpus cavernosum, corpus spongiosum, and also they are abundant in the vascular smooth muscles, right? So phosphodiesterase 5 is abundant in the erectile tissues and also the vascular smooth muscles. So think about the action of phosphodiesterase 5 inhibitors, right? So when you give phosphodiesterase 5 inhibitors, what happens? So what is the function of phosphodiesterase 5? Inactivation of cyclic GMP to non-cyclic GMP, right? Now when you give phosphodiesterase 5 inhibitors, that inactivation does not occur. There is accumulation of cyclic GMP. There is accumulation of cyclic GMP that results in more smooth muscle relaxation. So the erectile tissues such as corpus cavernosum, corpus spongiosum, right? So they become more relaxed and they become filled with blood. That is the erection. That is why we use these medications in the treatment of erectile dysfunction. Under sexual stimulation, erection occurs perfectly, right? So commonly used phosphodiesterase inhibitors are the sildenafil, tadalafil. Sildenafil is Viagra, the brand name is Viagra. Tadalafil is Cialis, right? Then vardenafil, that is Levitra, right? And avanafil is the new phosphodiesterase inhibitor, that is the brand name is Stendra, right? These are drugs of choice for erectile dysfunction, right? I said phosphodiesterase 5 is also present in the vascular smooth muscles. So when you give phosphodiesterase 5 inhibitors, there is dilatation of the blood vessels in our body. So for that reason, there are some side effects associated with phosphodiesterase 5 inhibitors. Headache. Why? Dilatation of cerebral blood vessels. So sluggish blood flow to the brain, dilatation of cerebral blood flow. Headache. Flushing. Why? Cutaneous vasodilatation. Flushing. Then also there is hypotension with drowsiness and unsteadiness. Why? Because of systemic vasodilatation. So these are the side effects of phosphodiesterase 5 inhibitors, right? So think about what happened when you give phosphodiesterase 5 inhibitors to a patient who is on nitrates. So look at this picture. See, guanyl triphosphate. Normally, it produces cyclic GMP under the influence of guanylyl cyclase. So when the patient is on nitrates, it activates guanylyl cyclase. It activates guanylyl cyclase and there is more production of cyclic GMP, right? So the cyclic GMP will cause smooth muscle relaxation, resulting in erectile tissues and blood vessels mainly affected. But the cyclic GMP level is kept at low level. Why? Because of phosphodiesterase 5. Phosphodiesterase 5 will continue to deactivate cyclic GMP to non-cyclic GMP, right? Non-cyclic GMP, because phosphodiesterase 5 is active. Now you give the phosphodiesterase 5 inhibitors for the erectile dysfunction, like sildenafil, vardenafil, tadalafil, or avanafil. You give one of those medications. They are phosphodiesterase 5 inhibitors. What happens? Cyclic GMP level will be very, very high, right? That produces smooth muscle relaxation, right? So that produces smooth muscle relaxation of blood vessels and result in severe vasodilatation. Severe vasodilatation. So the patient's blood pressure will go down dangerously, result in severe life-threatening hypertension, right? Ischemic heart disease, stroke, acute renal failure, vital organ failure. So those things will happen. At the same time, there will be continued erection, right? Erectile tissues will be continuously expanded with blood, right? So that results in priapism, right? So these are the manifestations that happen when you give phosphodiesterase inhibitors to a patient on nitrate. So, right, fatal hypertension and priapism. So it's very important that you leave a gap between these two medications, right? Best thing is don't give phosphodiesterase inhibitors, right, unless you discontinue the medication like nitrates at least by more than 24 hours, right? I hope you enjoyed this lecture, and if you enjoyed, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel for the future lectures. Thank you so much.